Hey everybody. If you've been following along, then you know we're in the midst of quite the journey. Well, we're at a weird phase right now. If you see behind me, I've got what is now this morning the second carload full of stuff. Only this is going into the house. We've spent the last 3 months trying to clear stuff out of the hoarded house that we recently took ownership of, and it's been to make room to bring in what was 5 different storage units worth of stuff that Michelle and I had spread around different places so that we could move our own stuff into the house. We've already consolidated down 2 of the ones that we had in our region in the Southern Appalachian Mountains have already been closed out, which have left 2 other ones. One called the Mock, you saw it in the last episode. It stood for Matt's Outdoor Center. Well, this is rest in peace for the Mock. It is the next target of our project. It's a significant thing for us to get to the point now, not only because of the money that goes out, but because we felt so scattered. And even though it's basically re-hoarding the house, is what it feels like. You know, the victories we had in opening spaces up are now filling right back up to the brim because of all me and Michelle's stuff is all coming into the house now. But as we sort through it and we clear now, it's stuff we will be able to set up for our home if we're able to keep it. But anyway, so a quick update from the last episode. We did call an audible at the end of the last episode and decided to head to sunnier, warmer weather. And well, before I get into breaking all this stuff down and filling the house back up over the next few days, hopefully I can get it all done in the next few days. It's nice to take a little break and recharge and remember where we just came from, because it really was paradise. We ended up going to the Barrier Islands of Maryland and Virginia, and here's some of the footage from that. Anyway, so that was a nice trip down memory lane. It was just over the last few days, so it's not that far a trip down any lanes, but it feels a universe away from the tasks in front of us right now. So let's get to it. I got a lot of work to do. So as I come in the house here, if you've seen previous videos, this was a nice open, clear hallway after a lot of work, and it is refilled with stuff from the mock. And if we come across over this way, and what was once a nice open, clear space for us to have family meetings and things, if you saw a previous video, that is all outdoor equipment here from the mock. So I've got to find places. It's just 2 loads that have come so far. I've probably got about 5 more to go and figure out where I'm going to restack this on top of stuff we hadn't finished sorting yet. So I noticed when I'm working, I have to sit down every once in a while because I get all sweaty and I can feel it in my chest and everything. And my health isn't what it used to be. And it's part of the reason why I made the decision to make the changes that I have, so I can try to get through all this stuff here at the house, and then also be able to do the things that I want to do, outdoors wise, before I can't do it. But an update, a lot of you already know I've been dealing with a shoulder injury for months, and the VA called and they said that the MRI confirmed I do actually have a torn rotator cuff over on this shoulder over here. So that has been slowing and complicating things. It hurts pretty much all the time, but I got to meet with a surgeon and in a couple of weeks and go over the options and have to make a decision about what to do to try and continue to treat it with the injections, which helps a little bit but doesn't resolve it, or do a surgery, which would take me out of commission for at least a couple of months. But just wanted to give you that little health update while I take this little recovery break before continuing to work on the loads and loads of stuff. So I mentioned in a previous video, one of the hard things about this is every little thing, like a box like this, or like a nasty old bag like this, everything's got to be gone through. And as I'm trying to make more space to bring more stuff in from our own storage units, this is the kind of stuff that every single box requires review. It's like, I don't even know what that goes to. And just trash papers, labels, and looks like a little wallet. Oh, here we go. This is what I was talking about. Wow. It's a full sleeve. Anyway, yeah, so they're 256 megabytes, and there's 6 different little memory cards on here. It may have a bunch of photos, it may be blank, I don't know, but has to be set aside to be looked at, because, you know, as I know in my own family, I'm the only one left from my nuclear family that I grew up with. Everyone else has passed. Those photos are so important, and so we have to go through all these and check them. Anyway, so it's such a time intensive thing just to make a little bit of progress in this house, but we're committed to it. And you know, I said it early on, the TV shows that address hoarding, I don't think they really deal with the aftermath. And I don't know if I spoke about this in a previous video, but some of the comments and conversational things that I got from people were very personal and very vulnerable, and talking about their own revelations as we've been documenting this journey for us and addressing the hoarding stuff that we're dealing with here. And I just wanted to say to anyone out there that's dealing with it, it can be overcome. You know, whether you're actively in a hoarding situation, or maybe like there were a couple of people that wrote me and said they didn't realize how far they had gone until they saw our first couple of videos. So the first couple of videos I'd posted up, and realized that even though I was talking about the situation in this house, they realized that that was them, and this was the legacy they were going to leave for their kids, and they didn't want that to happen. And that means a lot to me that people would share that. And I just want to say, you know, me doing these videos is to chronicle what we're doing, and we'll see how things turn out, if we can end up keeping the house or not, and if I can avoid having to go back to full-time work, you know, a W-2 situation, and we can generate enough money to sustain on our own. But also to encourage people to share and to dialogue and learn from each other and encourage each other. And that's a part of why I'm doing what I'm doing with this. And so if you see someone making comments in the videos and sharing different things, don't be shy about communicating with each other. I try to respond to everybody, but you know, I want this to be a community, and it's more than about just the hoarding. It's really, I think it's a good parable to life in general. You know, you can get cluttered with a lot of things in life, and whether it's, you know, finances or relationships or work, whatever it might be, you know, addictions and things, it takes a lot of work, and it takes more than just one individual to overcome it. And so let me be that encouraging voice if you need that right now. And in turn, I appreciate the encouragement that people have offered us, because it is overwhelming. And the videos, believe me, have not even begun to capture a little bit of what it's like. Yeah, so anyway, back into digging through boxes one at a time. All right, so I just found something, and I have a question for everybody, because I honestly don't know. I just found a roll of film, actual old 35 millimeter film. It looks like it's pretty deteriorated. I'm going to hold on to it, though. And if you are familiar with film photography, let me know if this is something that I should try developing, or maybe it hasn't even been used at all. I have no idea, but let me show it again. Let me know in the comments if this is something that I should bring to, I don't even know where to bring it to actually get it developed, but I'm sure Google could help me with that. But let me know. Let me know if this is something that I should take somewhere. Thanks. There's somebody knocking at my door. Always knocking at my door. What are you doing, BeBe? Hello, sweetie pie. Here, give me some room to get out here. Hi. You ready for some lovin's? Oh, I can't see you. Where you at? Hi. Want to say hi to the camera? Want to say hello? Yeah, it's a sweet girl. It's a sweet, sweet girl. All right, let me put the phone up and I'll give you some lovin's. Get your nightly ear rub before bed, right? I love you. You know, something occurred to me going through all these boxes. It's just box after box after box of clearing stuff. And what occurred to me is as I'm going through these boxes, things are in huge tangled messes. And the fact that a lot of these boxes, whether they be from Michelle's mom or if they be from my own past, a lot of these boxes were just things thrown together very quickly because the exit from whatever the situation or the location was traumatic. It was short notice. There was urgency to it. There was a real sense of loss if things didn't get thrown all at once into boxes. There's no rhyme or reason or sorting in some of the stuff that's carried on. And it's not just about stuff that was hoarded here in the house. It's also, you know, I won't get into the details of it, but after my divorce, I had a pretty traumatic short notice exit from my home and had to take everything that was left in there, either give it away, throw it away, or take what I could. And it was not a fun experience to go through. There was one time I had a business and it was one of those leased space things where I had an agreement. I'm going through it. I'm running my business, but I didn't own the actual physical place where the business is taking place. And a new owner came in, said, yeah, we're going to change directions. You need to be out. Oh, when? Well, we're not doing another month. It was a month-to-month lease because it was a fairly new business. So I wasn't willing to sign a long-term contract. But needless to say, everything that were in those offices just got thrown into boxes real quick. And some of them have never been gone through till now. And the key things that have to be used end up finding their way back out to desktops and open areas in the new space. And that's been true of home and of business and things like that. And Michelle said something that really struck me about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. It's hard to keep track of the days when you're just doing the same routine every single day. But she said she started thinking about if there was an emergency or there was a fire and we had to leave, we could only take certain things with us. What would we take? And then working our way backwards from that. And that really hit me as I'm going through these boxes and I'm untangling all these different messes, because trauma does that, doesn't it? It's not just about material things, physical things. Trauma does that with us emotionally and mentally and spiritually too. You just box everything in, it's all tangled. And it takes time and effort and commitment to untangle those things, to clear them out and see what you're going to keep and what you're going to throw out. So I would say to anyone that's facing a situation, whether it be a physical manifestation of a hoarded house or if it's untangling some of those other things, the more I do this, the more time I spend with it and with myself in my own mind, the more I'm seeing the greater benefit for my psyche and for things that maybe didn't get dealt with till there was time to have to really deal with them. And I don't mean just going through boxes. I would say, a few weeks into doing this now, it's worth the effort. because you can learn a lot about yourself and you can recognize patterns, and you also can carve out priorities. My biological father said something to me after my divorce that really impacted me. I disagreed with him at the time when he said it, but I was losing the house. I was having to pack things. It was horrendous. It was a horrible thing to go through, and relationships that had been tied to the marriage all of a sudden weren't calling and checking in, weren't swinging by, weren't wanting to go to lunch. It was like there was a distancing from a lot of people. But anyway, so I looked around the shambles of what was left of my home, and I was talking to my biological father, and I said, I can't believe this. I mean, I've lost everything, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And he said, no, you're looking at it all wrong. I was like, no, I really don't think I am. I've lost everything. The house looked like it had been ransacked. And, you know, everything I thought was going to be the story of the rest of my life, the fantasy you marry yourself to, was very much real in me. And, and he said it again. And I paused and he said, you don't understand that right now you're going through a real cleansing, and what is left in the wake of this are going to be the cornerstones of the new life that you build, and it will be so much stronger. And so even though right now it feels, it's real, what you're feeling is real, but this is going to help you sort things out, because he had been through a lot of trauma, he had been through a lot of loss, and he spoke to me from that perspective. And as more time has gone by, I've realized it more and more. And now in this last few weeks, since retiring or leaving I call it retiring because I've retired from being a medic. I'm not actually retired. I'm not nearly old enough for that. But the more I've been going through all the stuff we're doing, trying to end the cycles of things that have been going on in our families, and trying to sort and clear and clean and everything else, the more I'm realizing he's right. That hardships, that unwinding trauma, persevering through it, it creates new foundations and cornerstones that help you build a much better life. Anyway, I just, maybe I'm not getting enough sleep. Maybe I'm spending too much time just by myself and going through boxes and wires and trash and everything. But it's really been on my mind, and it's really impacting me. So I thought I'd take a moment to share it. And I do appreciate you coming along on this journey. I just want to say that again. Thank you.
All right, a lot of progress so far. Still have all this and what's underneath it to go, and we will be down another storage unit. The story of our lives the last month. So we've got it down to a system. In between unloading from the storage unit, load up a whole load of trash, take that out, empty the car again, reload at the storage unit. So yeah, got a good system going. Another load, we continue to make progress. We're getting there. These I will stick elsewhere. Can you grab that one loose piece there? Yeah. All right, that is the last of the mock, the MOC. RIP MOC. Another storage unit down. Woohoo!
All right, so if you've been following along and you're cheering us along for closing out another storage unit, that's good. However, it means that the 3 months of effort that we took to clear out space in the house, in the hoarded house, is now refilled to the brim, because we've closed down 2 of the 3 storage units that we wanted to get rid of in just the last few weeks. And so, yes, it's a celebration. We got another one closed, but all the free open space you saw us gain in the last couple of videos, let me show you what it looks like now. So as you can see, things are clogged up again, but what we've done, oh, and by the way, for those monitoring the trash stuff, we took out 2 loads of trash today, but at least everything that's piling in now is our stuff. And so we took a lot of the things that were remaining that aren't ours and we piled them right there. But all of this stuff here is ours, and we'll get it sorted and organized, and it's progress. So I'm pretty sweaty and out of breath because I just started hauling stuff that's a little bit heavier. And whew, it's fun to be getting all of our own stuff moved into this house because the thing tells you about my priorities and about things that are really important to me. So the area by the old fireplace that was fully packed just a few weeks ago, that we've cleared out, as you saw, and it's to make room for a new living room. But also, let me look behind me here. You see all that right there? That is the base flooring for my arcade. So I've posted about it on social media, but I don't think I've ever done anything in the videos about it. But one of my hobbies is to restore and repair old arcade, one-up arcade cabinets. And so I look for ones that people are getting rid of, either for free or junk parts or anything. And I've been restoring them. And so I've been building a little arcade, and I'm carrying those arcade cabinets into the house now, which is why I'm all sweaty. But I think it's time I share that with you because it brings a lot of joy to me and to the rest of the family and to our guests as well, that we look forward to welcoming into this home once we get it repaired and cleared out. This is my favorite cabinet. This is one I picked up as a junk piece that didn't work at all, and rebuilt the control board in it, and yeah, Tempest. All right, mostly set up. I just got to do the corner setup, and the arcade will be complete. By the way, if you have an old one-up arcade and it doesn't work and you're looking to get rid of it, give me a message. Well, another week and another goal accomplished, and a long way still to go. But I wanted to close out today's video by just going ahead and talking about something that's very central to this journey that I'm on right now, and the time seems right. So in my very first video in this series, and talking about why I'm risking everything, why I'm willing to risk everything to get this new lifestyle, and I talked about being a medic at the Veterans Administration Hospital, and meeting a lot of people that had all these plans, and then they got sick or they had health challenges, and by the time they retired, they weren't able to do the different things that they had hoped to do. And one of the parts that I didn't put in the video, just because I didn't know if the person would be comfortable with it, but also because of the state that they were in and what they were dealing with, was a coworker of mine and a friend. Kevin at the VA was a nurse that I shared the hallway with. It was a short little hallway, only 6 offices, 3 on each side. We're all tight in there like a pod together. And Kevin had been fighting cancer for some time. And Kevin was a very, very private person in many ways. But in his final months before he wasn't able to work anymore, he and I had some very personal and honest conversations about mortality and about life, and it really meant a lot to me. And the second to last time I saw him, he that's pretty wild. The dove just flew by. Okay, I hear you. Um, he talked about how he realized that with all these people that we work with, and we'd hear about these stories and people waiting too long to retire, and he shared that he realized that he had done the same thing. And he strongly encouraged me. He said, "You're eligible to retire, right?" And I said, "Yeah, I was as of last summer." He said, "Don't wait. Go ahead and do it. You need to do it and spend time with Michelle. Get out and do things, because I already know I can't." And it was something that was really powerful. That dove is here again. That's wild. There's a dove sitting right in front of me right now. But that I'll share with you. I don't know what people think about things, but I don't take animal encounters lightly. And the fact that I chose now to talk about Kevin, and there's a dove circling me and sitting right here in front of me, is pretty amazing. But and I attended his memorial yesterday at the VA. It was a beautiful send off at the VA in the clinic where I worked and where he worked, and I was really glad to be able to be there. And but the last time we talked, second to last time, and him talking about how he realized he waited too long and there's so many things he didn't get to do. And the last time I had a full conversation with him, he said that he had worked through that and he had been angry, he had been feeling he said in a really dark place is the words he used, but that he had come to peace with it. He had a friend that had really had a big impact on him and helped him, and so he was able to process through the things, and he was okay, is what he told me. And after those two conversations that were pretty close together, it was 3 weeks after that that I left the VA. But I just wanted to close out this video by, you know, giving honor and tribute to Kevin, because Kevin, without you and without your motivation and your openness, I wouldn't be on the journey I'm on right now. I listened to the words you shared, I took them to heart, and I've made these big life changes. And so I'm feeling myself. The emotions are welling up. So I'll just say thank you, Kevin. Rest in peace, my friend.